Hi, and welcome to your English grammar lesson. Today we're going to take a look at regular versus irregular verbs in the past tense. Don't worry. Our learning goals today are to see that just some verbs are special, weird, right? They're weird, and we need to learn them so that we can use them right. Yeah, they don't follow the rules. Okay, grammar rules aren't really rules, and that always bothered me as a student. I hated it. A rule is something that's yes or no, right? Don't touch that. Okay, right? That's a rule, right? But in English grammar, or many other languages too, grammar, there's always exceptions to the rule. That's why I don't teach grammar rules. I teach patterns, which is what I have been doing for this whole course. Let's not look at the rule. Here's how you do it. And your brain can make its own pattern. Irregular verbs don't follow the rules, okay? But there is good news. Regular verbs are simple, right? Regular verbs follow their normal rules, and we get that for the past tense, right? We just add the ed. Cool, that's easy. But irregular verbs, they don't play well with the rules here. Teachers will tell you, here is the rule for irregular verbs, here's how you do them. But it's much easier to just remember the weird ones. And that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to think about rules, I want you to remember the strange ones. So, here is, I'm like, oh no, what side? Here is a list of some of the common irregular verbs, okay? And I've broken it down into 3 columns. We have the base form of the verb. Then we have the regular past tense, okay? Now these are all irregular verbs, but this is the simple past tense conjugation. And then over on the 3rd column we have helping verbs, okay? So let's take a look at these basic things first. Bring, past tense, right? Nothing strange, becomes brought. But we also have a helping verb that we can add to this. It still stays the same thing. It still says brought, okay? Has brought, have brought, had brought. Ooh, we see some weird stuff in there. There's a present tense thing and a past tense thing with had. Don't worry. I'll show you a little bit later. Come becomes came. But now look at the helping verb. Ooh, it changed it, right? Has, have, had, come. Yeah, don't worry. Wait a minute. Don't worry. It's easier to just remember these things, okay? Just write this list in your notebook, okay? And remember it. Spend some time and remember these things. I promise you, it's easier to remember this list and a few of the other ones I didn't include than it is to try and understand why things happen this way. As a kid, I never learned it, really. As a teacher, I never teach it. Really, you don't need it, okay? Just remember these weird ones, and the more you use them, the easier it becomes. That's it, okay? But there is interesting stuff happening with the has, have, and had with the helping verbs. And I hope to show you when we use them that oh, okay, I see a pattern here, okay? So let's just hang in there. It's not really that bad if we think about it. It's just a handful of words, right? And it's much simpler to remember these words than it is to remember a bunch of grammar rules and the exceptions to the grammar rules. At least it is for me. Now, let's take a look at a sample sentence here. Our subject is Daisy. Our verb is bring plus a helping verb. And it's all in the past tense, okay? And we're going to add some detail to this sentence. Now, if you wrote it in your notebook, which I hope you did, you can look down and see what the answer should be with the helping verb. Let's take a look at that right now. Daisy has brought. Well, wait a second. Why isn't it had brought? I'll show you in a minute. Let's just take a look at this sentence. Daisy has brought what? Her umbrella when? Already. Okay. So we've got our sentence. We've got our sentence now. And some of you might have said had brought. I'll explain this in a minute. Don't worry. Why didn't we use had? I want you to think of it like this. Daisy has brought her umbrella already. This is called present perfect tense. And you see me, I keep looking down at my laptop because I hate this stuff. You really don't need to remember this stuff. Just look at the pattern I'm going to show you here. Daisy has brought her umbrella already. Now let's look at another version with the had. Daisy had brought her umbrella. This one's past perfect. But the thing here that I want you to see is the time part. Do you see how when we wrote has and have, that present tense part, we put a time on it? Think of it this way. Instead of trying to worry about present perfect tense and past perfect tense and where it is on the timeline of things happening, just remember that if I use have or has, I add a time to my sentence. But you see this past perfect one? There's no time, right? It's just done, okay? Just remember that part, and it should be easy for you. When your teacher asks you, why is it like this? Don't raise your hand for that question. I know. I think that's funny. Let's just take a look at this, okay? Let's keep going with this. Now, is this a grammar rule? No, clearly it's not a grammar rule, but it's a pattern. I want you to think of grammar more like patterns because it's not nearly as confusing, okay? Look at the last lessons we've done. Nothing's been very difficult yet. It's all pattern stuff. I haven't wrote one rule on any of this stuff. I don't want to. Okay, let's take a look at one more here. Our subject is the man, the verb is make, and it's past tense. No helping verb. Let's go back to something simple here, okay? Just a regular, irregular past tense verb. And we're going to add some detail to this, okay? The man made a clay pot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's really hard to make those things. I know, I've tried. It's messy, but it's fun. Who? The man, what? Made what? A clay pot. Simple. Cool. Now, did we have any of the weird past perfect, present perfect stuff? No. That's why I said, just remember that list. It's just simple irregulars. We remember the strange one. No big deal. Let's take a look at another one. Subject is the children. Verb is run. And it is a past tense sentence. Add some detail to this. Let's take a look at mine. The children ran. All right, just past tense, simple. Past tense, ran when? Where? In the park. So we look at this. When it's the regular, irregular verb in the past tense, it's not hard. We just have a strange spelling, right? Which is why I said, just remember the irregular form. It's not that bad, okay? That is the simple way that I do things, okay? So now, what are irregular verbs? Well, irregular verbs are verbs that don't follow the rules for past tense conjugation. They're the weird ones, right? They are just, it's easier just to remember them by themselves, okay? It's easier to remember a few strange words. Think of it like a spelling test or something. You remember those words for that spelling test. But at least this way we can use them. Now, here is the chart. I'm clearly not in, well, maybe I'm in the screen. I'll squeeze into the screen here. Here's the chart. Pause the video. Write this in your notes. Really, write these down. If I type up a chart like this, write it down because it's probably important. At least you can see them and practice this later, okay? Now, let's practice together, okay? Here's what I want you to do for today's practice. I want you to write a sentence and conjugate the irregular verb into the past tense and add some detail, okay? It seems like a lot when I did it that way. But look down at number 4, 5, and 6. I almost forgot 5 and 6. 4, 5, and 6. It says the verb plus a helping verb. But you see I put a parenthesis there and it says time because that's the pattern I want you to remember is that time part. Remember, this time talks about some time that's finished, okay? And that'll make it much easier to write your practice sentences, okay? So pause the video now, write down your answers, and then we'll come back and take a look at mine. And remember, yours won't be the same as mine because I want you to write yours in a comment and send it to me, write it below the video so that I can check yours and say, you're good. So pause the video. Okay, now I am sure that you paused the video, and if you didn't, what were you doing? That was a lot of time I gave you. But make sure you go back and do your video, your answers, because we're going to look at my answers now. Okay. Past tense irregular. We went where? To the city. Why? To celebrate. Oh, that's nice. Number 2. They made, past tense irregular. They made a lot of food, right? What? A lot of food. Why? For the party. Number 3, who? The workers, what? Brought. They brought what? A cake. They brought a cake. Why? For her birthday. That makes sense, right? Now here we go, 4, 5, and 6. Yours might be different. Mike has, okay? Because we have to make sure that those two match. Mike has what? Past tense verb, thought. Okay, Mike has thought about it, about something, right? Now I said add time, right? All day. So that means this whole day so far till now, right? He woke up and he was thinking about it. Earlier, an hour ago, he was still thinking about it all day. Until now, right? That's what this sentence means. All day, from wake up until right now. Not now, right now. He was doing this activity. You see that? That's that stuff. The stuff I said don't worry about. But it makes sense when we add in the time. I can use that form, has or have, if I use time. Okay? That's the pattern I want you to remember. Number 5, I have, okay, because we're using the helping verb. So I use have, not had. I have what? Thought about this lesson. This one right here I'm doing. This is real. I have thought about this lesson, how? For a few hours, right? So before I made this video, this lesson, I have been thinking about this lesson and how I was going to make it simple for you and throw away as much of the grammar rules as I could. I think I did it. I hope you understand. Tell me if you do. It's really hard to throw away this stuff and make it make sense. But for that time before now, a few hours before now, I have been thinking, I have thought about. Okay? That's that past tense. Now, number 6. She plus be verb, or plus helping verb, has. Okay, so we need to use time, because I used has. Written, the ugly irregular verb. She has written what? About this topic. Okay. When? Before. She's done it before. Okay? So when we use the has or have, the helping verb, has or have, we add a time to it. If we used had, there's no time. We don't need it. Okay? Because it just happened. It's done. But see how, when in these sentences, all day, for a few hours, before. See how it's not done. It took time. Ooh, see, I'm explaining it and it's getting confusing. But the pattern was simple, right? Has or have plus irregular verb plus time. That's the pattern I want you to remember, okay? Whew. I really hope you understand. I really hope this made it easier for you, because that's how I had to think about irregular verbs with the helping verbs as well when I was a kid. And boy, looking at the book, I'm like, I remember hating this day at school. I hope you didn't hate this video. I hope you had fun. Leave me your answers down below so I can check it, or send me the message so I can take a look at it. And let me know, do you understand? I'm sure you do. I'll see you for the next lesson. Bye.